Charlie, I wanted to ask you about AI kind of broadly in terms of the value to the advertising ecosystem and, kind of how you see it, how its current applications are and sort of what the value is, how you define that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has tremendous value. The advertising ecosystem is incredibly complex. You're dealing with huge volumes of data, extremely low latency requirements in order to make decisioning. And you're dealing with a tremendous number of different dimensions and variables that you can utilize to make decisions off of. And so to do that effectively, you really need to leverage AI or machine learning based solutions to do it effectively. You're just no longer at a scale where that sort of thing can be done, manually, solely at the hands of traders or buyers.
So how does a DSP how does a platform like MediaMath, use AI right now?
We try to utilize AI and machine learning pretty much anywhere that we can, if it makes sense. But particularly, we see that happening in a couple of key areas. So one is around automated performance. We want AI to automatically optimize to true business outcomes with as little human intervention required as possible. The second area there is transparent insights. So, I think AI and machine learning can often feel a little bit like a black box, and programmatic has historically felt that way as well, I think. But we're seeing a growing trend with more and more marketers, focused on an accountable supply chain. And so MediaMath has become very focused on delivering granular transparency into the decisions that our algorithms make. So, for example, we offer reporting insights into the decision that our brain makes. Brain is our real-time bidding optimization algorithm, right? That reporting gives our end users insights into what factors are most influential in driving the decisions about how much to bid for a given bid opportunity. Another great example there, and this kind of ties into supply chain optimization. We had partnered with IBM to pilot Source, and we were able to run some A/B testing to show that the results that they can drive with the increase in transparency into the supply chain, that based off of those insights coming from that transparency, they've been able to make some optimizations to kind of shorten the number of hops in the supply chain, which has dramatically lowered costs and delivered some really great results for them. The third area that we focus on at MediaMath with respect to AI is this concept of an open AI platform. We really want to ensure that our marketers can transact in the manner that they want, right? And so we've built our platform to be extensible in that regard. So if you want to run your own model, against our data, you can do that. If you want to keep all of your data and the models behind your walls and run your models there, we can do that through our custom bid router product. Or, if you want to use, our bidding algorithms that we have, recently rebuilt out of the box, you can do that too. And they've been driving some really great results for our marketers.
There's a lot of changes going on with the deprecation of third-party cookies and mobile identifiers, a big emphasis on onboarding clients' first-party data. How does that all work with AI? What's the value there?
Yeah, so there's tremendous value there, especially with regard to the demise of the third-party cookie, right? So, one area that we've kind of focused on at MediaMath is deepening our partnership with LiveRamp to, aid in the onboarding of that first-party data and incorporating their identity link into our identity graph. I think marketers they've grown accustomed to being able to be very targeted, with their advertising. They are accustomed to being able to really see the efficiencies and the return on the investment that they're getting with those advertising dollars. And they want to be able to continue to do that. At the same time, right? We have to, be able to, adhere to user privacy, right? So, leveraging the partnership with LiveRamp has allowed us to help brands reach their intended audience, with scale and accuracy and control, while still putting that consumer privacy, first. What I think you'll see is I think that you will see more publishers incentivized to utilize authentication with LiveRamp or similar types of companies so that advertisers can continue to kind of justify the advertising spend there.
I wanted to ask, more broadly about AI, machine learning, and the health of the programmatic ecosystem. And, there's a lot of concern about that, concerns about transparency and the supply chain. And I was wondering if you could share some thoughts about how AI and machine learning can sort of help improve things, perhaps.
Yeah, so I think, one, yes, transparency is absolutely an issue, particularly within the supply chain, and there's tremendous opportunity to gain efficiencies there, and efficiencies for many of the parties involved. It's a really complex space. There's a lot of middlemen, and because of the middlemen and the lack of transparency, that can cause some of the distrust that I think you're alluding to, right? There have been some studies, that have shown for every dollar an advertiser spends, approximately 40 cents of that dollar, or 40% of it, is making its way to the publishers, right? Because you have so many middlemen in there taking their cut. Now, some of those middlemen are providing value. Some of them less so. Some of them are behaving more like arbitrageurs, simply kind of reselling inventory and kind of taking a cut of it. The rise of header bidding here is another area where we've seen some inefficiencies in the supply chain. Publishers have really kind of grown in their adoption of header bidding, and this has led to the same inventory being sold through a multitude of SSPs, and this causes DSPs like MediaMath to see a tremendous increase in the amount of bid requests that we see to get the same volume of inventory, right? So we see our costs go up just to kind of process this increase in volume of bid requests, right? And so this makes for not only kind of a drop in cost effectiveness, but it makes the whole thing very messy. In other areas, so now you have, from the buy side, right, you have advertisers that can purchase the same inventory through a variety of different pipes. And not all of those pipes are created equal. You'll have different auction dynamics depending on which route you go through in terms of which SSPs you're buying from. And that can lead to different types of performance results, at the end of it. So it touched on a couple of things here, but to recap, right? So cleaning up the supply chain is going to result in efficiency gains for the publisher. They'll be able to gain a larger share of those advertising dollars by cutting out the middlemen that aren't adding value. You'll see efficiency gains for the DSP by reducing the number of SSPs that they are working with for any given set of inventory, and reducing the load on the bidders. And you'll see efficiencies for the advertisers too, so that they can figure out which supply path makes the most sense to drive the ROI for their business.
And AI is part of that, or how does machine learning kind of fit into those solutions?
Sure, right. So the challenge here is that given the complexity, of this ecosystem, the number of publishers that you have, the number of supply paths that you have in play, it just becomes a really tall order to ask the buyers and the traders to kind of manually, day in, day out, kind of manage that. Which SSPs am I turning on? Which ones am I turning off? Am I just dropping it in scale, right? And so it really requires an AI or machine learning based approach to address that properly at scale in an automated fashion.